Yesterday, I got to go hands-on with the Galaxy S25 series, every single one of them. Here is what you need to know. Let's go. So this video is going to be a little bit different to my normal hands-on because also I've created more content than ever before on the S25 series. So go check out my channel. There's a whole bunch of videos live right now that you can look at. This is literally purely going to be a hands-on. That's it. Because the thing that strikes you with these phones is when you have them in your hand, they feel incredible. The S25 and S25 Plus in particular have a very almost old school feel about it, particularly the S25, the base model. I did a video the other week about the Galaxy S6 and how I felt this phone felt really lightweight, but also really premium. The Galaxy S25 gives me that same sort of feeling because of the fact it has a lightweight but premium build quality attached to it. The S25 and S25 Plus are under 200 grams, both of them, 164 for the base model, 190 for the Plus. Outside of that weight reduction, realistically, we're rocking the same hardware as last year. Same camera, same display specs, same battery sizes, same fast charging. Nothing has really changed in that sense. But it's not about the specs being the same or not the same. It's about the fact that they've managed to fit that performance and those numbers inside the package that they have. The cameras and the camera hardware, a lot of people will be disappointed by the fact we've still got that same 3x camera. And I understand that because they're seeking hardware. For me, the people that are chasing better hardware, that's where the Ultra exists. I also get though that some people want a smaller phone with better performance or better hardware. All of that I completely understand. But I think the reason why the hardware not being different with the cameras is inconsequential is down to one thing and one thing only. The 8 Elite for Galaxy. This is going to provide an unbelievable point of difference for these phones. It adds to that whole experience of it being lighter in the hand with a light feeling when you're zipping through the software, the new built from the ground up for this device, oneui 7. The 8 Elite for Galaxy though isn't just going to be for better performance or faster gaming or better gaming and faster performance. It's been a long week. It's also been tuned to help increase the display capability. And this is the stuff that you won't probably see on a spec sheet because it's not really talked about, but it's got a new Pro Scaler as part of the chip that is going to improve image quality on the display by 40% compared to last year. And as we were talking about the cameras before, the cameras are going to get some new post-processing and new image processing as a part of this chip as well. I have to read this, so I got to get this right. It's got a new spatio-temporal filter, which is designed to help tell the difference between static and moving images for better quality of output. There's also a new Pro Visual Engine, which will help post-processing and removing noise reduction. I have already seen that in action on the Ultra in particular with my S24 Ultra to S25 Ultra comparison. That is crazy different. Even with the 1x camera, you wouldn't expect it to be that improved in early version software as well. But I want to focus a little bit on the bit at the end, the for Galaxy part. A lot of people just think that that's a marketing term, that Samsung have just chucked that there just to have some sort of exclusive sound or feel to it. But there is actually a part behind it that means that they can say that with confidence. Samsung have had their engineers implement proprietary technology into the Snapdragon 8 Elite to fine-tune it for stuff purpose-built for these phones. That is what allows it to be called the 8 Elite for Galaxy. With Samsung now using the 8 Elite for Galaxy across the range on a global scale, it means there's no longer a need for disparity of features. For example, last year when Samsung upgraded to the S24, there was 4K dual recording and Full HD dual recording. There was a split. So with new features coming this year like log, you might expect the same to be taking place, but it's not. Samsung have put log video recording on both the Ultra and the S25 and S25 Plus. And the performance gains that this chip brings just alongside all of that other stuff is super impressive. It's got 40% improvement to neural processing, which enables so much of the new Galaxy AI features on device stuff as well. It's got a bigger and higher performance ceiling with 30% CPU increase and a 30% increase to GPU performance on top of that. And again, you can see that in the comparison video to the S24 Ultra, that performance difference that this has enabled is wild. For the base models, Samsung have improved the vapor chamber size by 15% and 40% on the Ultra, which considering this is thinner and lighter is crazy. The S25 Ultra, if we pivot to that, gets some improvements outside of just the chip. It has a new 50 megapixel f1.9 aperture ultra wide camera, which is long overdue, particularly on an ultra phone. That was the obvious one. The one outside of that is the fact that they've made this phone thinner and lighter as well. It's 8.2 mil and 218 grams, which is honestly feeling it in the hand, knowing what this phone has got inside it. It's crazy that it's this light. It shouldn't be this light, but it is. They haven't sacrificed any functions really either. I mean, there's a feature missing, but I'll get to that in a moment. It still has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. Some people might say make it thicker and put a bigger battery in. I like the form and the profile. It feels better. Still 12 gig of RAM, still got the massive cameras, still got the S Pen inbuilt into the phone. There's not really much that you're missing here. Well, one, the Bluetooth controls from the S Pen are no more. They've been a staple of Note phones since the Note 9, the Bluetooth gestures and controls. I found it odd that it wasn't here. Initially, I thought it was a hardware decision to make the phone thinner and lighter. I still think that might be a little bit of the case, but when asked, Samsung said that it was down to usage data. Less than 1% of people actually used the Bluetooth controls. So they, I guess, thought that, well, not many people's going to miss it. Whereas I see it the other way around. I see it as yeah, you might not use it. Knowing it's there gives you the confidence that when you do need it, that 1% occasion, it's there for you. And I've been in that situation before, whether it be taking photos, or whether it be controlling PowerPoints. It's very important to have it, but we don't. The other improvements on this is it's got a Gorilla Glass Armor 2, the upgraded Gorilla Glass Armor on the front here. I haven't really noticed it to be any less or any more reflective or less reflective than what was there before. Samsung did say that it is improved, the reflective coating, but the next part to it being improved is the fact that it's got a 29% reduction in scratch resistance or improvement in scratch resistance. Whichever one means that it's better at resisting scratches. That's what I mean by 29%. The Armor coating, I still can't figure out why it's an Ultra exclusive. If they put this on the base models, it's game over for other phones because it is such a good feature. One thing that I noticed now across all three phones is the design language is consistent. Samsung have responded, which is what they said, to consumer demand by unifying the design. Because in the past, obviously the Ultra has always been square and boxy, and then you've had rounded base models. Now for a consistent approach, all three models feature the same design language and have a very unique identifier with the floating cameras to go with that. I mean, in a way, it's just going back to what they've done before, which is they've always done rounded corners on the S series. They're kind of strayed away from it. So this is just basically returning to their roots of what the S series is all about. That paired with the flatter sides and rounded corners and thinner bezels all create that more optimized in-hand feel. One that you will either like or one that you won't. I like both. No surprise really there. Go check out my other S25 Ultra videos specifically because it's here. Make sure you hit subscribe to Tech with Benefits. Lots of coverage to come, and I'll see you guys in the next one. You!